everyone, Sandy here. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome, welcome. This is week number 7 for the 13 Frights Before Halloween. Sandy's 13 Frights Before Halloween. Use the hashtag that you see across the screen and also in the description below if you make a project for this event, this collaboration. I am doing this with other YouTube crafters. Their channel names and our direct links are listed below in the description of my video. Just click on more, go visit all of them, see what fabulous projects they're sharing this week with you also. I'm going to have a great time. This is a little shaker box, gift box. So I've made a shaker here on the front, added some elements from the paper collection that I chose, and you can open it up and put something inside, like one of these little guys, and give it as a gift. So this is a lot of fun. Fill it with candy. So stay tuned for the tutorial. Oops, we fell over. To create the shaker box, we're going to make a lid and a base of the box out of cardstock. I'm using the black artisan cardstock. You need 2 pieces of the 12 by 12. You're going to cut your lid piece 9.5 by 9.5. Then for the bottom, we're going to cut it just a little bit smaller, like a 1/16 of an inch smaller. So instead of 9.5, back it up a 1/16 of an inch, which makes it 9 7/16. So put it at your 9.5 and then put it at the tick mark, the 1/16 inch tick mark, and just cut that into a square. So at 9.5 and then back it off a 1/16 of an inch, like that. Okay? And that's the 2 pieces for the box. This is the box, this is the lid. I'm going to take a pencil so I can see and write lid right in the center. Okay. Now we need our scoreboard. So I'm going to score the lid first, lid piece. And I'm going to score at 2.5 on all 4 sides. 2.5, turn, 2.5, turn, 2.5, one more, 2.5. Okay, then we're going to score at 1 1/4 on all 4 sides. 1 1/4, score, turn, 1 1/4, turn, 1 1/4, turn, and 1 1/4. This is going to make a, what they call it, reinforced lid. So this is the lid piece here. Take your other piece, put your 9 7/16. We're going to put this in. We're not going to worry about the length. We're still going to score at 2.5 on all 4 sides. Score, 2.5, turn, 2.5, turn, 2.5, turn, the last one, 2.5. So that is the base of the box. To make the shaker part, take your box lid and choose a die, like a square or rectangle. I'm using this rectangle. I don't want it moving on me. I need to tape it better here. Now, my die cut machine, too narrow. I can't cut this size piece, so I'm going to cut this with a craft knife, the first piece. The frame will be made with the die cut machine. So I centered this, so it's about 1 1/8, 8, and then about 5/8, top and bottom. So that looks pretty good. I'm going to take my pencil, tape this down so it doesn't move on me, and I'm drawing a rectangle around the outer part. Hang on to it. Okay, look. Okay, so I should have a rectangle drawn pretty good. Tape up. And I'll be using this to cut my frames in just a bit. So let me grab a mat, my craft knife, and a ruler here. Okay, we got to get it nice and flat. There we go. Ruler and the craft knife. We're going to cut this part out. Now you can do it on your trimmer if you have a sliding trimmer. I'm just going to put that in right there. Okay, that is the rectangle cut out. Like I said, you can use a square if you wanted to. And this edge is going to be covered up by a frame. So erase your pencil marks. They really won't be showing, but go ahead and erase those if you want. Okay, so there's that. Okay, we're going to cut a piece. Now you can either put pattern paper or acetate. And I think I'm going to put a paper image under here. So I want this to be 2 5/8 wide by 3 5/8. 2 5/8 by 3 5/8. Write that down. 2 5/8 tall. Okay, I'm going to pause a minute and find my paper that I'm going to put it. So for this project, I'm going to be using Hocus Pocus by Cartabella paper collection. I have frames and tags and a camera that goes with it. So I've already cut the piece that I want here. So this is a 2 5/8 wide by 3 5/8 tall. It's going to fit right over this opening. And I'm going to do it from the outer side, outside, so that the inside will be have a finished, more of a finished edge. And you can put a frame around that on the inside. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take my glue and I'm just going to put glue around the perimeter of the opening, hopefully, using my fine tip to make sure I don't put out too much glue. But we got to get it going. Come out. Oops. That off if I have to. Make sure there's glue all the way around and on the corners as well. Okay, so it's more glue than I wanted. I'm going to put this down like this over the edge. Probably should have used any tape. Why I didn't do that? I should have used 1/8" tape. If you have 1/8" score tape, use that instead. Okay, so I'm going to clean that off. Luckily, it dries clear. Clean this off a little bit here. This is just water in my mat. Okay, and now we've got that cleaned off. We've got that on there. Okay, so there's that. Now I'm going to go cut me a frame that I want to fit on this. So I have other dies. I'm going to see which size works best, and then I'll be back. Okay, so I've done some prep work off camera. Now, the reason this was cut out, if you wanted to make it a see-through box, you would do it this way. You could do that. I decided to put solid paper. And so I'm going to finish this on the front. So I cut a piece that is just under 4.5 by 4.5, and then I use the small die. Where did my die go? I'm going to show you. Well, they're over here. Hang on a second. So I use my small die to cut out the center of this, and this is going to glue down right over this to finish up the top of the box. So I'm going to go ahead and put some glue on the back side. Put this down within those score lines. Okay, you've got just a tiny bit of a margin, so I'm going to burnish that down. Okay, now we're ready to make our shaker. So I also made, this frame is for, yeah, this frame's for the inside. So with these two dies, I made a frame. I'm using the black. This is going to go right here on the top. But you need your clear acetate. So I cut this the 2 5/8 wide by 3 5/8 tall, and I'm using score tape on the back of this frame to attach that down. Okay, so I've got this. You can't hardly see it, but I've got it right here. Something to hold this with. Whoops. It's very sticky. So I'm going to line this up and put that down. Okay. So we've got our acetate piece on. And if you get it off just a little bit, because it's clear and it's hard to see, just trim that little bit that's sticking out off, like right there. Okay, so now we're ready to build this up for our shaker bits, and I'm using the Buttons Galore and More Spellbound that I got from Country Craft Creations. And then I have these foam strips. And I'm going to use this to build up for my shakers. So line it up along the edge of that frame area and just snip this off right. Just extend it a little bit. Okay. Take a short one here that I already had. Make sure it goes down good. But this one up here, it's short. Oh, I need a longer one, so I'm going to take that one up. Take a whole one. Make sure you don't want any gaps. Okay. So butt it up really tight to the one you just put down, and then line it up. Cut that off. Just extend it a little bit. Put this back on my sheet for a different time. Pull up another one. Line this one up here. Okay. One more. Like I said, make sure it's butted up to edge to edge. There we go. You don't want any gaps in there. Okay, so now I'm going to open this up. Get some shaker bits. Pour some out into there. These bigger ones are not going to work. I have to pick some of them out. I like those. We got black little stars and little black bats. Got some rhinestones. So I just picked out the bigger circles. There was one really big here. See that purple one? a little bit too thick. That one works. So I think that's good. Fill these back up. So now we have this. I'll take my pokey tool and I'm going to peel the back off. And I'm doing all this before the box is put together because it's just easier when things are flat, I think. This one up. Side. Okay. Now then, make sure I'm looking at my skeletons and make sure the directions are going. It doesn't really matter on this piece here, but this is going to fit down. Right. Oops. Down a little bit. Luckily, I can peel this up a little bit. Had it too far. You don't want to see any of your foam. Okay, with my burnishing tool, I'm going to burnish that down. And there's the shaker frame right there. Of course, I'll put things around it. So there we got that. I'm going to turn this over here on this side. I cut a frame to go around this piece on the inside just to kind of finish that edge off. Just going to take a little bit of glue. And glue this down flat. There we go. So that's on the inside and that's finished. Because you're probably not going to finish this inside of your lid. Okay, so we got that burnished down. So that's nice and finished there on the inside. Okay, so now we're ready to cut this and assemble the lid. Okay, so now we're ready to cut out. We're going to cut out the 3 outer squares. So we're going to cut here all the way up to the corner of the pattern image. We're going to cut here up to the square and then cut all of this second square out, 2 bottom squares out, and this when we cut out. So we're going to end up with tab like that. So cut all the way up to the pattern paper. You can do that on both of these. Then we're going to cut out this one line and then this one. So what you have here at the bottom, you have these 2 flaps, right? And this stays intact. So we turn it around. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to leave this as a tab. So we're going to cut it all the way up to the corner of the pattern paper. Cut here. This line just to the second score line. Going to cut this line out just to the square. And then we're going to cut this one out. So whichever way you do it, as long as you leave one square that's tabbed like that. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. I will hold this so you can see it. This goes to here. Take that one out. Okay, so once you've cut that, got this tab, this tab, this tab, and this tab. So it should look like that. Now then, we're going to miter cut here on these squares. Just add an angle. like that. Do that on all four. Okay, and one more. Now then, miter cut just this bottom flap here. To that. This one we leave solid. So right here we miter cut. Here. And one more. Okay, cleaned up. So now I'm going to fold all my lines and burnish. Fold this under, burnish. This folds back, burnish. These two tabs, short square tabs, fold under and burnish. Okay, now this folds under and burnish that. Fold these back and burnish right here, the edge of your lid, like that. Okay, now then, we're ready to bring this together. So open these all back up. So we're just going to put glue, fold these square ones down, put glue on one side of each one. With the tabs folded down. Okay, so bring this side up and square it in there. And these other flaps are going to fold down over. So you just need to make sure you squared up here on the sides. Okay. Here, just squaring them up. Pressing down in there with my fingers. Got this one squared and this one. Now then, I'm going to go through and put glue on this one of these flaps on the inside. And this folds in. Burnish that. Do the other one on the opposite side. With this black, it's really hard to see, but I can get it. Put that glue on there. These fold out like this. Bring this one in. There we go. It's going to make a nice sturdy box lid. So this one goes in, and then this one. Okay, so now we have our box lid assembled. Just going to burnish this really well. Make sure with my bone folder that they're staying down. Now we will add pattern paper on the outside. And there's our shaker, and we'll add decorating there. So let's make the base of our box and get that made. Clean all this up, and then we'll start on that. Okay, so take your box base, and we're going to cut right along. Make sure you're cutting right along that score line up to this corner. Don't cut this. Go over here and cut the same line right along that score line up to the corner of the center box. Turn it all the way around. Do the same over here. And right here. So we've cut them on the opposite side. Okay, now then, go ahead and fold and burnish your score line here for your box. Score. Then go ahead and score these corner ones in. And then we're going to miter cut. Okay, so open them back up. Got it like that. Fold this one in. So you've got this flap right here, and we're just going to make a miter angle cut on these flaps. Okay. Turn it, do it on this side. Here. Okay. Now then we turn around and fold this one under. So these two flaps are sticking out. So we can cut those. And this last one. Okay, and one more. Okay, so now there's our box. We're going to be gluing it with these flaps to the inside. So I'm going to turn it over. I'm going to put glue on one of the flaps on the outside of it, like that. Take my box and glue it to the inside. Make sure we're squaring up this edge right here. Nice and square. Now if you want to take a clip, grab some clips here, you can clip that in like that. Now we're going to fold this back. Put your glue on the flap here so that it goes to the inside. There. Line that up. Yep. Same thing. Bring this one in. Glue here. So your flap is attaching to the inside of your box. Right here. Make sure it's lining up even. Got one more. Fold this one back. It's really hard with this black paper to see, but get it on your flap here. Okay. And the last one, line it up. So there is the box. Clip that base. Got a nice roomy box for a little Halloween surprise. I also have a little froggy witch. I have a little ghost. And I have a little, I call it Cat Dracula because it looks like a cat to me. There you go. Probably supposed to be a bat, but looks like a cat, so it's Cat Dracula to me. So anyway, I'll let this dry for a minute, and then I'm going to cut my papers to finish decorating it up. Okay, so I picked out and cut out my papers, and I inked them. So I've decided here on this inside, you can leave it like this, but mine's kind of wonky. It's wider here over there. I kind of got it off. So I'm going to cover that. So I've cut 3 pieces, one for in here, one for in the bottom and one for the outside. So these are all cut at 4 3/8 by 4 3/8, and I did ink all the edges. Then for the base of the box, outside and inside, you need 8 that are 4 3/8 by 2 3/8 tall. So I have 4 of the spider webs and 4 of the jack-o'-lanterns. And then for the lid, you need 4 that are 4 3/8 wide by 1 1/8 tall, and I'm using the stripe. Okay, so I want to show you out of the frames and tags. I was looking at it. Would you believe there was a frame already made that would have actually fit right there? Same paper and everything, but it doesn't have the little stitching from the dot. But I thought that was pretty interesting. So you could check your frame tags if you have one of these in Cartabella and see if one fits. Okay, so I've got my little elements ready to go too, and I've got ink all over my hands and stuff. I'm going to put this aside and speed up the camera. I am going to pattern all this, so you do the same in your box. Now I am not putting pattern paper on the inside of this reinforced lid here. I'm going to leave it black because I think it would work better that way. I am going to put probably this in here like that, so the lid comes off. So I'm going to glue that in, and then I'll glue the sides on. So I'm going to go ahead and speed up the camera now. So the box is patterned and the lid, and I'm ready to decorate. And like I said, I got this off a little bit, top and bottom and side to side. But luckily for us, it's Halloween, and so that's okay. So I have these elements for decorating that I want to use. So this is from the ephemera and the tags and frames of this collection, Hocus Pocus. So this is a skeleton tag. I tied some of this twine around it, tied it in a knot here at the top, and then I frayed it out because I want it to look wispy. I don't want it perfect. Does that make sense? So I just kind of pull the strings and get them all threaded out and just play with them. So I have some black foam dots, and I'm going to flip this over. So here on this right back side, I'm going to put a couple of foam dots. These are black. There. I'm going to use 3 just on the side because this is where it's going to extend off of that frame. Backing off. Okay. And then flip this over. And I did ink it and kind of spattered the ink around on it, sort of. Oh, I got to put glue on this side right here. Got to attach it down. I'm going to put it right there. Kind of slight angle. Then I have also from the ephemera the Happy Halloween to You. I'm just going to glue this up at the top. So I'm going to balance my offset stuff kind of with the decorating elements. Okay, we've got that. And then I have these black flat back pearls. I'm going to put 1 on each end. I'll use the big size. Put these in my stash. Okay, like that. Then I have this little oval with a spider on it, a little coming down with his cobweb. I'm going to put glue on that. Stick it up here on this corner. of the frame. Then I have a jack-o'-lantern here. I thought that looked cute, kind of offset like that. Glue him on. Kind of brings everything together. The skeleton, spiders on the inside, and bats. Love the shaker part. And I had this little spider here, a little spider button. I like spider buttons. I'm going to put that on after I get everything together. Now on the inside here, I had this circle here. It says, have a spooky day. I'm thinking of putting it right here in the bottom so that whatever treat you take out or gift or goodie, your recipient, it will say this down in the bottom. Have a spooky day down in the bottom of the box like that. Now this should fit on. It's going to be snug, and that's fine. And it should, when you put it on, make a little squishy air sound like that. Fits. Very sturdy little box, gift box. The shaker on it makes it a lot of fun. And then lastly, I'm going to glue this little spider right here to finish it off. Okay, so that's the conclusion of this tutorial for week number 7, September the 12th of 13 Frights Before Halloween. So we've got 6 more to go. I've got some other ideas. Be sure to check out the other channels on and listed down below, and click on more that are participating YouTube channels. Crafty ghoul friends, I'll call them ghoul friends. They're crafty projects that they're doing each week along with me, committed to doing the 13 weeks of Halloween crafting. Check out their channels. Be sure to subscribe, give them a thumbs up or a like, and leave them a comment, let them know you were there. Thank you to all the new people who have joined my channel. I appreciate you so much, and click like when you subscribe if you haven't already, so that you'll be notified of my next video. And check back next Monday for 13 Frights of Halloween again. And also, if you make something, be sure to use that hashtag, and I'll show it down on the screen below. Okay, that's it, everybody. Have a great day. Happy Halloween to you. Bye-bye.